one would have imagined that, with that revised proposal, they would have upped Radiant at above 165.
At the end of the day, the reason why they have submitted a revised proposal, Tanveer, is because this one's a binding one. The one that had been submitted earlier by IHH, which was submitted at 160 rupees per share, was a non-binding one. And the reason why it was a non-binding one was because they were seeking about 2 to 3 weeks extra additional time from Fortis Healthcare to convert that non-binding offer, do the due diligence, and then convert it into binding. But now clearly I think there's a lot of pressure on IHH. They are very, very keenly looking on Fortis Healthcare as an asset. They're running out of time because the advisory panel will make the recommendations by the end of Thursday to the Fortis board on the entire mechanism and formula to work out how to arrive at a proper bidder. So because they're running out of time, I think this is a bid under pressure. This is a binding bid under pressure. This is not the ideal scenario in which a suitor would want to submit a binding bid because they don't have adequate time to go through the books. Like for example, Manipal and TPG, which have been inspecting the books and going through the accounts for almost a year. So this is a bid under pressure. It's a binding bid, which means that they will now be considered by the Fortis Healthcare Board. The Fortis Healthcare Board can no longer ignore this bid because it's now been converted into a binding bid. 650 crore rupees, I believe, is the upfront equity infusion, and post due diligence 3,000 odd crore rupees will also be infused. So this is falling into the category of what the Munjals and Burmans had earlier bid. A bit of non-binding, a bit of binding. Let's go ahead with some money at least for immediate equity infusion, and some other money we will look at it post the due diligence. So it's a mixture of both binding and non-binding. But at the end of the day, this is now legally an offer that the Fortis Healthcare Board cannot ignore because IHH has finally made a binding offer. Now we'll have to wait and watch to see what that expert panel recommends once it finalizes its proposals, because all these bids, mind you, they're not very different when it comes to the valuation. 150, 155, 160, 165 rupees per share, 5 or 10 rupees here and there. At the end of the day, you will have to look at the pedigree of the suitor. You will have to look at the operational expertise, the turnaround expertise. So a whole host of other factors too, because on the valuation bit, there's not too much to choose amongst all these bidders. IHH now finally playing it safe, did not get the time period it wanted for due diligence, but has now finally submitted a binding bid. That's the latest as far as the race for Fortis is concerned.
Got it.